Welcome to the Upholstery Show, live from Arlington, Massachusetts. We're going to serve you up a beautiful bowl of coconut fiber.
Oh boy. They are, Dad.
It never gets old. Guess what?
Hey, I think, you know what, Patrick? I like the one when I was peeling around the corner, remember?
Oh, yeah.
Trying the car. That was even better.
We're live.
That's lost footage, Jimmy. That's gone.
We're live, and we have a question already, but if you just heard in the background, we have a guest back in studio, Jimmy.
Yes.
Thank you, Jimmy, for being here.
Nice to be back.
It is. It's nice to have you
couldn't
back.
find the place. It's been so long.
Oh.
That's why we were going to hook you up with one of those monitors, those ankle
the GPS
bracelets.
thing, yeah. Knowing you guys, you probably went like top dollar, not.
Well, Jimmy will be joining me for kind of a mock sales thing that we're going to do, just to show people. We've never featured this before, just to show people who are starting to do upholstery and maybe doing it professionally. And Jimmy's one of them, actually. He's starting to professionally do work. I think this is going to be, we're working on his second job, which is going to be a French settee that we're featuring. It won't happen until the summer, right, Patrick? But he's going to be doing.
Jimmy still has another class to go.
That's right. But we're going to actually maybe show that piece that he's working on too. But he's the real mystery is how to sell fabric, and actually selling fabric is such an art that we're going to feature. Jimmy's going to pretend to be a house husband. And he's going to come out here, and we're going to go through this a little later. So, but first, question and answer, right, live, and we've got one right off the bat, don't we?
Yeah, Sylvia left one for us.
Okay, what's that?
She said, you got it, Miguel?
Yeah. She says, I was wondering what size hole does one cut for a 36 button when using foam?
Well, first of all, let me tell you that tufting, she's doing tufting with foam, is a little bit of a challenge. If I were tufting with foam, I would use, first of all, back up a little bit. The foam that you want to use is a mid-ultra foam, density of about 2.6. You don't want to use a cheap foam when you're doing tufting. And I should throw out this warning, tufting, any type of foam is a little harder than the traditional method, which is horsehair. Horsehair has the perfect consistency for tufting. So when you see a horsehair tufted back, they're not too concerned about making a hole. So you can use a dime-size cutter die. You know, you've seen the cutter dies. Or some people, you know what some people have done? They've attached this to their drill, the cutter die. Let's see if I can find one. You know what? I might not have a die that cut. Oh, here's a big one. This is a big button. This is a number 40. But she can use a number 22. I wouldn't use anything more than a 22 no matter what size button you're using. And you can attach that. Usually what people do is they work up a tape system and they tape it to the end of like a drill bit, or not a drill bit, but they tape it to the drill itself, and this goes around and it makes your hole, it makes a perfect hole. Or you can try to do it by hand, okay? But keep in mind, the better foam is the harder foam to cut. The cheap foam is really easy to cut, and that's one way you can tell if you're using a cheap foam. Another way is if it's a white foam. That white foam I would stay away from. It's very flammable too, by the way. But it doesn't hold up. It won't hold up your pleat work or anything like that. But if you had a choice, it would definitely be, and I know that a lot of people can't afford it, the horsehair. The horsehair, definitely. And what you do with the horsehair is you just pilot your finger through everywhere you want a button. It's as easy as that. And then some people put muslin over that, and then cotton, definitely. But that's how you make the holes with the horsehair, just with your fingers, right? So I hope that answers your question. It's actually there's a longer answer too. So good luck with that. You get another quite live question, Patrick?
Well, Daniel's here.
Oh, Daniel, how you doing, buddy?
John and Ann from Ireland are checking in.
I think Jimmy answered Daniel. Didn't Daniel have that settee, the one that looks like yours? So let's just bring it out now, Daniel. Watch, this is what Jimmy's doing. Jimmy is doing a settee. Michaela, if you want to pan down here a little bit. She's actually busy with some other more questions that are coming in. So the difference between Jimmy's and Daniel's is that Jimmy is not going to have tufting. Yours is a straight back.
Yes.
Sounds easier, doesn't it?
It does.
Not
When
necessarily.
When you said Tufting, I almost, what are you talking about?
But your back had no buttons.
Nothing.
And it's curved.
Yes.
So we're gonna try to do it the same way.
Okay.
That's a little tough on yours, but Daniel's, didn't he do a good job on that?
I was like, wow.
Oh, by the way, I want to show you another thing. Look, you're not going to believe. The only thing left on Jimmy's that we can reuse is the frame, the springs, and that beautiful down cushion. Let me tell you something. This down cushion is very special. It's not a cushion that Jimmy's just going to relax on. I mean, because it's an old French settee, and it actually probably has 100% down, which is very unusual. It's almost like what you get in your down coats. Remember those old down coats that we used to wear?
Yes, full length.
Yeah,
Well,
the
for
big.
some, whoever.
You look like the Michelin Man. Remember
Yes.
him on the commercial?
Oh, God, yes. Yes, you're bringing back bad memories now.
You could fall down a flight of stairs in that coat and nothing would happen to you.
Yeah. I
It'd
know.
bounce all over the
place. Oh, I softened the blow.
But that's a nice cushion. It's not what believe it or not though, it's not what I recommend for functionality. Functionality, if you're gonna go to a cushion, you're gonna go to a 50% down, 50% feather mix. That's the proper, that's usable, let's say. This is what happens with the 100% is you're pressing right down into the seat, into the cushion, into the spring, so. But it will be fine. It's more of an aesthetic. I don't know if I mentioned that to you, Jim.
Yes, well, I'm sure I'm saying for the time. But, so it's, goose and feather.
No, yours is an all down, all down.
If I were to have, say, put that as a, if I had to fill that up, you would recommend the 50%?
50% feather, and then 50% down, which is from this part of the goose.
Now,
So-
would that make that more cushy or last?
What it does is that the feather down mix, the ratio tends to work better. It gives you a little substance and also comfort too. With the 100% down, it's not offering you that substance. It's more airy. It has
Okay.
more air in it.
So is it going to be more resilient over time too as well?
The 50-50 would be.
Okay.
Although you've got a cushion there that I'm looking at that's 100 years old.
Yeah.
So you talk about
I know.
resiliency.
I saw the bottom coming when I brought it out of the house. I'm like, oh my God.
And the only thing good on that was the cushion. Now, you know how many goose it took, or geese?
Well,
Geese it took to make that cushion, Jimmy?
I can imagine. I think the last one we had, the small cushion that we did, that was half of that.
Yeah, that's a lot of geese in there.
I don't hear them complaining, but
We hope that they did it in the summertime and they didn't freeze too much. But anyhow, we have a live question, Jim, which always takes precedent over
Yes,
your
yes, I know.
valuable
I don't want to get carried away.
intellectual.
It's not the Jimmy and Kevin show.
This is from Ivan.
Ivan,
Hi everybody at Broadway. I am a Pilates instructor and studio owner in Somerville, Mass.
oh, hello.
Oh, wow.
He's a neighbor, and Jimmy's from Somerville originally.
Yes.
And interested in learning how to reupholstery vinyl apparatus equipment made of wood. Some and primarily interested in learning seams and reupholstery. What classes do you offer?
Well, we're
So in other
all,
words, what class do you think would fit that piece? That's a unique piece. We haven't done anything like that.
have we done a slip seat? You know what, I'm going to do something here. I'm going to tell him that the best class would be on YouTube for this, because it's really kind of a simpler form of upholstering. We're getting into a lot of in-depth things online, the paid classes. So the good news is he can go on the YouTube channel and find, we've done slip seats. Go to a slip seat and take a look at what we've done there. It shows you how to, it sounds like more like what he has to do is stretch material over
A vinyl.
a vinyl. It sounds like a slip seat to me. So we've done slip seats, right, Patrick?
Yep.
So he should go on there. What you're going to find in there are the stretching techniques, which are very important when you're doing the ends or the pleats on the ends. And we show you how to do that too, so you get it for free.
But if you did want to do a full class, is there one that would fit that?
Well, I mean, every class is going to develop skill.
Yes.
So if he's serious, if he wants to continue after he does his little pads, he can go and join a class. And the ones that I like Jimmy's classes, because Jimmy asks you ask good questions during the class, and we take it step by step in all the classes. So I think any class for him would be suitable, Patrick.
Yeah.
Any class.
Yeah, I think dealing with vinyl, is there anything you should do and not do with that, or?
Yeah, it's a good thing he does Pilates because it needs a little bit more stretching than the regular fabric.
Well, now, would you recommend leaving it outside, leaving it
No.
out and letting it stretch?
We
or
used to in the old days, though,
temperature?
it's a good question. In the old days, we used to steam it. We used to have steamers. You'd see a steamer in an upholstery shop. We don't do that anymore. Because that was the old Naugahyde. The first faux leather, or fake leather, was Naugahyde. It used to be really thick.
Yes.
So what we used to do is steam it, get it hot, or not iron it, but steam it. And that would get it thinner and also stretchier. The faux leathers they have today, which I'm sure he's going to be using, are thinner and they're more leather-like, or the proper leather. So you don't have to do that anymore. So it's a lot. So we feature on the slip seats. We feature fabrics, but you can use the same techniques, the stretching techniques on the faux leather today. So Jimmy, see, this is a good example right now of what the online classes offer. And that question that Jimmy just asked are questions that you get on the online classes. It's much more in depth. Thank you for that. So we're going to go on to the posts. This is Broadway Upholstery School post, Patrick, Facebook post, or just, what are we doing right
Which
now?
one are you talking about? From who?
The first from Joseph.
Yeah, Instagram. Joseph,
That's
I told Joseph we'd shout him out because he did some cool work using one of our videos. So.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
Joseph,
Picture of it, Patrick?
Huh?
he's going to put it up now, Patrick? Or?
Yeah, it's up now.
So upholstered a customer's throw pillow, added some filling as well, thanks to Broadway Upholstery School for the help. And then we wrote, wow, that's amazing. And that is amazing, because I think he used some techniques that we were showing on how to stuff a cushion, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we got another picture up here of this throw pillow that he did. And he did the whole, let's see, upholstered a customer's throw pillow. It's the same thing, but it's a different
That's
picture.
just the second picture, yeah.
That
He
looks
had a
good,
series of
Patrick.
pictures.
Good job. That really is nice.
Thanks, Joseph. Keep sending us stuff.
Yeah, not many people contact us through Instagram, right, Patrick?
Yeah, he's younger like me, so that explains it.
Right. So us
What are you
old
trying to say,
guys.
Patrick?
He knows how to work a phone, in other words.
Us old guys.
You know what, the younger generation couldn't work a rotary phone, so
Yeah, that's right, Jimmy.
yeah, let's show them, Kevin.
Let's write him a letter. And,
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, show them who's really in charge.
you have a can with the string on it, right? I'll
Yeah, if I go outside, the reception, I'm sure, is going to be great. Don't worry about it.
show you. I used to hear my friend from 2 houses away through that thing. The 2 cans and a string. Worked fine.
Yeah. Of course, it had to be the copper string, right? Not the old
Yeah,
cheap,
there's a lot of strings.
bakery string.
That's right. My neighborhood, though, looked like that guy that used to, remember that guy that collected string and he had that big ball of string?
Didn't he become famous?
I think Patrick visited that, didn't you, Patrick?
Yeah, it's out in Kansas.
The other kid's a big ball of string. I think he might have been, he might have taken the string from all the cans that, from all the kids in the neighborhood, right?
Yeah, probably stole some too. Yeah. Actually, string was way back till it was so prominent.
Everybody laughed at him, but he became famous. And we're talking about him. Anyhow.
Well, you are, not.
Erica's an old friend. She sent, oh boy, is she ambitious with this one. And she sent us some pictures. Is this a complete project, Patrick, or just the beginnings of a project?
She followed it up. I think she's got a lot of pictures there. I couldn't fit all of them. That's how many there were.
But that's good. We love it.
A lot of hard work.
And she contacted us through what? Broadway?
The forum.
The forum. And Jimmy answers a lot of the questions too, and I thank Jimmy for that, because he's one of the, what do they call him? He's a admin, right. And
Unpaid.
the checks in the
goodness
mail.
of his heart.
Yeah, that chick's still at, yeah, I mean, let me find the post office and talk to them.
The checks in the email. So Erica says, here are some pictures of the mid-century modern sofa I'm reupholstering. I couldn't post more than 2 pictures with my last post. Here are the rest. And she's got one that is very similar, Patrick, to the one that we repaired it, remember?
Yes, yeah.
And now that's been up, so people have seen that.
That'll be up for sale next week. So.
That's a good bargain on that. That's a beautiful original A.H. Davenport sofa that has the original gold crushed velvet on it that I think is beautiful. You can use it I think it's not perfect, but it's usable, which would be suitable for somebody.
A man cave.
Yeah, somebody, maybe a man cave, or somebody who wants to keep it and then at some point reupholster it is fine, or reupholster it right away. It's going to be a good price on it. They're hard to come by, these sofas, mid-century sofas. We see a lot of smaller chairs in mid-century, but we don't see a lot of sofas. So look for that. Okay, now we're getting into our questions on the YouTube, Patrick, or?
I have one more question on from our website.
Oh, this is the long question, right?
Yeah, so get that from
Okay, this is a long one, so bear with me, you guys, but this, I asked Patrick, instead of me answering this in a email, which would take me a while, I wanted to do it live, and I hope that Darlene is watching, or if she isn't, we could let her know that the answer was answered on a question and answer show, and she can watch it later. But she says, "Dear Mr. Kennedy," so formal, right, Jimmy?
Yeah. I know, usually it's,
Don't say it. Recently, a friend passed away, and while clearing his estate, I found what has been identified as a Stickley quaint colonial lounge chair. Those are absolutely a treasure. The dating between mid-20s to mid-30s. No collective value per Stickley Museum. But the chair itself is rock solid, and I've cleaned the wood and I'm ready for paste wax. This chair has a drop-in spring seat, mass manufactured springs, and very dented in the middle of the chairs from years of sitting. After watching one of your videos, it seemed you don't recommend reusing. I think I have to correct Darlene. I always am a promoter. I don't know what, maybe she misunderstood. If I would never say that in a video, I don't think. I always want to reuse these. I have a couple in here. Actually, Jimmy, would you
Yes.
mind, there's a black, see that black Naugahyde? Speaking of Naugahyde, behind you, that piece. See it?
yes, right
Can you
here.
bring that over a second?
Oh, God, wow.
This is one of these
I
units.
can tell by the feel of it.
Watch your step there, but bring it
Yeah.
over into the camera view. Put it on the, yeah. This is in terrible shape. The good news on this one, this is Stickley, by the way. You wouldn't know it because it's been covered with the Naugahyde, but there's a beautiful broken down frame of its original Stickley in there
You're kidding?
that I'm going to restore. I'm a big believer in restoring it. Actually, when the client first contacted me on this, I think we showed this last week, right, Patrick?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you can see it's been a while since they...
When the customer contacted me originally, she didn't think she had them, and then she found them. It was like finding a treasure. It really was.
Now, what is this, the seat, too?
It's a drop-in unit that Darlene's talking about. It's a drop-in spring unit.
Okay.
It's a self-contained unit that just you upholster off the piece and then drop it in. That's what a drop-in unit
Oh,
is.
okay.
But it needs a lot of work, but that's fine. So keep them. Don't get rid of them. I hope Darlene didn't get rid of them. But please keep them, and you'll be able to see. I know I have a video on there, Patrick, about spring tying.
Plenty of them.
Yeah, so go on there and take a look at those. Then she goes on. Thank you, Jimmy.
Yep.
Thank you. My able-bodied assistant. He'll be, his next job at night is flipping letters for that new show. What's it called? The Price is Right or something like that?
Yeah, yeah.
Real forward.
Did you see the one with Melissa McCarthy?
No.
Oh, my God, you gotta watch that.
We got Jimmy off. We could get Jimmy.
Jimmy Dirt Sheet.
Off the rails.
Easily,
Going off the
easily.
rails.
He was wandering aimlessly down the road one day. Nothing to do.
And then Darlene goes on. Okay, by me is the cane bag. By me is the cane bag. I'm not sure what that means. Is torn, and I will use webbing instead of replacing the cane. That's okay. Would you recommend that I use webbing instead of the spring assembly for the seat also? Okay, now I'm not sure what is there a picture of this, Patrick?
There isn't, no.
Okay. I'm not sure what she means by that.
Maybe
Definitely, if she's listening,
Can she
follow
send
up
one?
with a picture.
But let's read it again. Number one, would you recommend that I use webbing instead of the spring assembly for the seat also?
Oh, she wants to replace it.
No, I don't want her to replace it. I want her to reuse the spring system. Anything she can do to save it, she can bend that back, that piece that's bent, she can bend that back easy enough.
Okay.
And believe it or not, a bent seat like that doesn't have much effect as long as you properly pat it out than she might think on the springs. Because
Okay.
tying the springs tends to balance the springs off.
Okay.
But she can, I've taken them before and bent them back with my hand. So
Okay.
she can do that And even if it doesn't bend back, I wouldn't worry about it. And then she says, would you recommend more modern stuffing materials instead of wool? So I'm not sure what she means by the wool. I know sometimes they've used wool, but most of the times it was hay and horsehair in these. But I would tend, you can use modern stuffing. One of the key stuffings on this unit is rubberized horsehair. So what you want to do is start with the spring twine, the ruby twine, and the burlap, and then over that would be the rubberized horsehair. Actually, the rubberized horsehair is probably a better batting than even horsehair for these particular pieces. So I highly recommend 1/2-inch rubberized horsehair, which we now have on the website, right, Patrick? Or
We will soon.
we're going to get it up because more people are asking about this.
Yeah.
And then from there, you want to go maybe, sometimes I'll go with a 1-inch piece of foam and then cotton or Dacron over that, and that's it. They don't get a lot. You don't want to overstuff these out. The springs do a lot of the work for you. That's why it's really important to keep that drop-in unit. It's very difficult to construct an upholstered seat on a Stickley that was intended to have a drop-in unit. So really, the drop-in unit's almost everything for these pieces. Then she goes on. This is why I needed, Patrick,
Right.
I needed to discuss this in a question and answer. Then she goes on and she says, original machine needlepoint covering and the animal hair, straw, wood stuffings, burlap, and linen coverings are too damaged for repair. So I just told her what to use. The chair will be donated to a worthy organization. Fantastic. My labor is because the chair should live another 100 years. How about that, huh? Thank you so much for any advice you can give. I have pictures if you would like to see the original chair in
Yeah.
each section. Yeah, send the
I'd love to
pictures.
see that.
Jimmy, on to the forum, right?
Yes.
The Broadway
Yes.
Upholstery
Please.
Forum.
Yeah.
Jimmy is excited about looking at
I'd
that.
love to see what people have and then I'll see how they transform it. It's great.
Then she finishes up by saying, I have picture if you would like to see the original chair in each section as the chair was disassembled. Fantastic. Yeah, we love that stuff, don't we, Jimmy?
Yes, we do.
Now, we have a lot of business before we get Jimmy up here, so...
Ivan followed up. He just wants to know if you know any places to get in the Naga hide.
Oh, God.
Well, it won't be
And
Naga.
an industrial sewing machine. It sounds like he's taking on a big task.
Wow, it sounds like he's going to open up a shop. Well,
I'd
they're
like
not...
to know, where's the Pilates studio?
Yeah, Jimmy wants to
He
know...
wants to take a class.
Free advertising, if you want to mention where you are. Jimmy, are they teaching Pilates these days, Jimmy?
Yes, that is still a hot thing.
Yeah, but I mean, with the COVID, there must be restrictions or something.
Well, there's probably classes might be half the size, so they may
Yeah.
even go outside with it.
Sure.
Depending on how they
Sure.
how they do it.
Well, Somerville guy would like to know where your shop is, where your studio, I guess, not a shop,
Yeah.
it's a studio. And so, Naugahyde, I would not, if he can get a hold of Naugahyde.
Oh, was that just a fad that just came in?
No, that
and
was
went
the
out?
first. You know, you had your cows running around, and everybody used cows with the leather. And then some genius decided he wanted to breed these little Nagas. So he breed these little Nagas. They're ugly little critters, but they grow really big, almost as big as an elephant. So they had herds of Nagas out there in the Midwest, and they would herd them up, and unfortunately, their skins would be used for the Naga hide.
You're kidding.
No,
Nothing else.
I am kidding.
Yeah. I was gonna say, you almost had me for a split second. Little Naga.
Yeah, no Nagas. No Nagas.
Like I can imagine what your depiction of them would look like.
No Nagas were harmed in
Yeah,
the
like
manufacturing.
something out of probably a Bugs Bunny cartoon, right?
I don't. Patrick's not laughing. He doesn't find any humor in that at all.
He doesn't understand Bugs Bunny. I told you that
What's a Bugs Bunny?
He doesn't. He says, "What's a Bugs Bunny?"
Boy, Bugs Bunny hour. You and I would sit there and say, okay, we're blowing the morning off, we're gonna watch Bugs Bunny.
Listen, if he says, "What's a Yosemite Sam?" I'm gonna go
Oh,
back there and I'm gonna
my
drop a ton of bricks on his head.
Oh, you know what? I think you have the wrong child there, Mr. Kennedy.
We have fun, right? But anyhow, seriously, I wouldn't use Naugahyde. I'd go to the faux leather. And the faux leather, we have people selling faux leather here at the shop. They get a hold of me, and I'll give you the information. I'll forward it. Or if you want to go to one of these remnant places, they will have them.
Well, there's two places I know of.
Yeah, we can't mention their name, though, Jimmy. But
Oh.
there's places he could Google and find put in faux leather, FAUX leather, and he should come up with that. I think that was his question, right, Patrick?
Yep, and industrial sewing machine.
Industrial sewing machines, I highly suggest a Juki walking foot if you're going to do industrial work, and Google that too. Just make sure you use Juki though, Juki, best machines that are made today as far as I'm concerned. Okay, let's get to our YouTube. Oh, we just posted, gee, it's been popular already, wing chair post cuts, and we had a wing chair in here, Jimmy, that I was able to, unlike this one's huge, but it was a small wing chair, and I was able to actually hold it and show people different cuts which are really hard for
But I
people.
did not watch it.
It's a really informative, quick YouTube video that I think answers some mysteries about cutting. So a lot of people are worried about that. So this is from Elena. She says, that's a perfect chair to make a deconstructed chair. And they are beautiful and they give modern look to those types of chairs. I just finished 2 and I relied on many of your videos to do the upholstery. Thank you for these videos. Guess what? She's talking about the YouTube channel, Broadway Upholstery School. I don't think she is a member of the online classes, Patrick.
I don't think so.
But this is a rare example. I say rare because I'm still amazed that people can use the countless videos we have and are able to do tasks like upholster or wing chair using the videos.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of searching. You know, you have to do a lot of searching. We have few A to Z's on there. We do a few, but they're hard to come by, these A to Z. A good one, okay. Like on if other people are out there doing it, I think they're featuring a lot of foam products when they do it. But we feature a lot of the cotton, a lot of the natural fibers when we do all of the videos. We try to, although there are some that we feature foam. Foam is definitely something that you have to use sometimes.
Yes,
You know, but
you
we
get
do-
stuck with it.
We prefer the natural materials.
I enjoy it, yes. I mean, just like when, actually, one of the things that I haven't worked with, the metal strips that you have.
Yeah, we're going to have to show you more of that. Actually, we have, who is our friend in India, Patrick? What's his name?
Anil, and he's watching out, he's pieced together a lot of videos to do work.
Yeah, Anil is looking for more of that type of commercial work, which honestly, we don't do a lot of commercial work, but if I ever can find time with everything that we're doing here, including, we have a custom shop, we have a custom YouTube channel, we have online classes, we have the Broadway Upholstery Forum. I mean, we have a lot that's going on here, and I think I'm forgetting something, Patrick. Oh yeah, we have a beautiful business of foam cushioning now, so we have like 5 things going here. But I would love to be able to feature commercial work at some point, which I know how to do, but we just, it's, the facility here is small, and
Yeah.
it's just tough. And he's looking for more. So I think, Jimmy, that we have shown how to do this on one of
I
your
have
videos.
to look for it.
Yeah, but we do show it on the YouTube. We have techniques, more of a manufacturing techniques that we show sometimes on the YouTube.
Okay.
So the next question is from Anil. How about that segue there? Anil, he says on the wing chair post cuts, he says, great work. Thank you, Anil.
And cheers, don't forget.
He's becoming a fantastic watcher of us. And so, we love having him as somebody from that part of the world
That's
watching.
impressive too, because who knows what time it is in India right now.
You know, it's amazing, Jimmy, how many people we have reached worldwide. Patrick and I did one of my favorite YouTube videos, Patrick, is the cloth, the mud cloth.
Yep,
The
Malian mud cloth.
What is it?
Malian.
Malian mud cloth, where we featured on a YouTube. You guys should check that out. We featured a material that's used by the we call them indigenous people of Maui, where they have this mud cloth, and this is a cottage industry for people. Mothers who are supporting their children by producing this mud cloth. And we're featuring this as a way of promoting harmony, if you will, throughout the world, and that's one place where we do it, and we're very, very happy with that video, and that we're able to contribute in our way,
Right.
our own way. And then we have Anil from India, we have people from Australia, we have people from Saudi Arabia, we have people from England, we have people from Ireland, I mean all over who watch our videos and appreciate us. So we appreciate them, don't we, Jimmy?
I think so,
Yeah.
yes, we should. Actually, we should go, it's not in the budget this year, but I think we should probably go to
Don't give him-
India,
listen,
Australia. And,
This guy wants to do that. He wants to take the show on the road and go visit our best friends who made friends with us online and set up seminars in areas. Can you believe that?
Definitely in the U.S. we want to do it for sure.
Yeah, you
yeah,
know.
like, where would you, well, let's go to Texas first, I think Patrick would be nice.
Texas.
Florida.
Yeah.
Just stay in Florida. The weather's nice, so.
Yeah, we could do a seminar on the beach between the, the margaritas.
And then we have, do we have any live questions right now?
Terry just sent me a cool picture. I guess there's a doll made out of Naugahyde.
What?
Hey, something cool. I gotta show it to you in a
A
second.
doll made out of those little
Arts
noggins.
and crafts, she has way too much time on her hands.
Pretty cool. Look at that.
Listen,
Show me, I wanna see.
Here you go, Dad.
well, show that, then you can take
Oh
it.
my God.
Cool.
Wow! See, you know what she's done? She's done that, what we've been talking about. She's done a little bit of a play on that rumor or that urban legend about there's actually these little nagas that are being
Well,
sacrificed.
there you go.
And this is a little naga, Jimmy. Look, do you see it? Do you want it up there?
You know what? We could put that on a t-shirt, Kevin.
I love it. Don't you love it?
You know what? You could start a fad with that. That's a
You
novel.
know, maybe we could maybe we could start a GoFundMe for this.
Just
These little nagas.
They have, now they're lost, wandering through the Midwest, aimlessly, probably down Main Street, USA, and we have to save
I could
them.
just see them inside the tumbleweeds, just kind of floating along there.
Yeah,
you know.
hiding away from everybody.
Yeah, they're very rare. They're very hard to spot.
But they do have tough leather, right?
Well, they're naga hide. This would be a great promotion for naga. That's great. Thank you. Who was that said that?
Terry.
Terry.
Yes.
Terry, thank you. And you made that? Look at the workmanship on that thing.
God.
Oh, she's got more patience than me. Michaela, I think Michaela would love to see that. Isn't that nice? Oh, you have it right on there.
I think we could, if she can mass produce them, we could probably like start something like the Pet Rock. Do you have a name for your Pet Rock? Remember that?
Seriously, I know somebody that had an idea about selling tumbleweeds.
Oh God, little in the
Real
cage.
real tumbleweeds, not just fake ones, real ones. In the cage. Hey, that's a good idea.
Yeah, we can say they're like the mood ring. We can go with that again too.
Now we have a comment from one of our favorites, Omnipotent Mama, right, Patrick?
Which is Erica.
Erica.
Yes.
I always get that mixed up. She says, A.H. Davenport, Part 1. She says, I posted on the Facebook group pictures of the similar sofa, Erica, right?
Yeah, we just showed those. Yep.
And I'll just read this through because we just showed them. I'm working on one of the pictures of the bottom webbing.
Oh,
There doesn't look to be any damage to the springs, and webbing seems to have minor sagging. I reinforced the webbing, banged on the, in parentheses, she said, banged on the tacks to drive them deeper in. I have no evidence of broken ties. Is that okay, or do I need to retie as well? The springs were hand-stitched and tied. It really is, you really have to use your judgment on that. Sometimes in the life of a sprung seat, you know, you have, like, you're halfway between the life of a sprung seat. And let me tell you something. If you're talking about, I've seen spring seats that last 50 years if they were properly done. And that sag that you're talking about is actually a good sign. It's the webbing is doing its work by sagging and not forcing the springs up. So what you have here, if it was like I teach, doesn't say the year, but you might have a seat that's halfway through its life, which is perfectly acceptable to just repair that. But with the knowledge, if you're selling that to a client, you're telling them this. You're saying, you know what, I think I can save you money by just repairing the seat instead of doing a complete overhaul, and tell them what that means, like what I just said. Your red light is flashing. I'm not sure what that means, Patrick. Red light flashing.
The battery only has 5 minutes left.
5 minutes on the battery, Patrick.
So we charge it longer than that.
So then, so she's got a seat that she can definitely, I think, salvage by doing a repair instead of a full restoration. And then we have, just in case we run out of battery,
That's
right?
fine. I have another one.
Okay.
Don't worry.
So Janine, she's commenting on oh, we have 4 comments on the Davenport, Jimmy. Original Davenport.
that was, you know what?
You were with me. That was an incredible find, wasn't it?
Yes, I was like, what? I was stunned.
You were mesmerized. You were dazzled.
I was
You were
actually probably
amazed.
not feeling right that day.
You were drinking cinnamon schnapps or something like
Yes. The higher quality cinnamon schnapps. Yeah, I can't even say schnapps because I'm not feeling right. Okay.
I'm gonna put that battery in.
Go.
I actually thought the audio was broken.
I didn't say a
You got
word.
me.
I didn't say a word during that. I was just teasing these guys. I'm in a good mood today. You know why, Jimmy? Because I've had about 3 of those. Wonderful. I had a free cup of coffee coming to me down at the end of the street.
Really?
So did you ever notice?
Did you go in and just all of a sudden it was your charming personality?
Oh, no, that doesn't get me anything. It usually gets me
I
kicked
tried
out.
that at the local market too. It doesn't work anymore.
When I wore a younger man's shoes. How does that song go? When I wore a younger man's...
No? Okay.
It used to be, when you were good looking, you could walk in and get a free cup of coffee.
Yes, you look like you need a cup of coffee. Is that what they say?
Now they don't even see you.
I know they don't. Hey, buddy, let's move on.
Anyhow, so I finished that one about the bottom webbing. Now, then Janine says, interesting on the Davenport. She says, interesting to see how you did the springs from the bottom. If you guys haven't seen that, it's a repair. We did that too for antique dealers who have a piece of furniture that they need to present into their shop, for instance, and they just need to spruce it up a little bit. I would say that's what we did on this piece. We spruced it up.
Yeah, it wasn't as is, but it also wasn't a full.
That's right.
You know, it's in between.
Yeah.
We made it look good.
We need to understand that because sometimes we get comments saying, "Oh, you didn't take the springs out," or you know. Usually, it's a master upholsterer. You know, what do they call that in the
Your
bazaar?
arch rival.
Arch rival.
Yeah. I just happened to watch Batman last week, so I remember
And
that.
I'm not sure if he talks like that. Why am I talking like that? I'm making fun of him. I shouldn't make fun of anybody, right, Jimmy?
Oh yeah, well let's let him, we gotta kick him when they're down, Kevin. You know.
No, I wouldn't do that. But you know, usually they'll see a video halfway through and I'm doing something like a repair like that, but they don't see the beginning.
Of
And
course.
they'll make a
Well, they
comment.
know so much.
One guy said, "I take apart furniture all day long that you probably upholstered." And I just laugh, you know. So we have a
Oh yeah, that's what it was said. Oh yeah.
Jimmy. I know somewhere there's somebody out there who's your nemesis. They're called nemesises.
Yeah.
Can you say nemesises?
Nemesis is like I've been drinking all night.
Like that cinnamon schnapps.
I never told you that story.
Oh well, we've got to get through this first.
Yeah, well,
You'll have your chances.
We'll have the fireside chat someday.
You'll have your chances. The housewife. I mean, the house husband.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna slip on that one. Okay.
So Janine says, interested to see the springs tied from the bottom. No need to hand stitch the springs to the webbing at all? Question mark. No, not if you you're tying with the ruby twines. Even better.
Now,
It's even a better system than she's talking about the hand stitching that she's seen in older pieces, that's how they did it before the clinch it came along, right?
Thank God the clinch it did.
But that system that I showed on this Davenport is better than hand stitching even.
Now, what kind of a nylon? Is it a nylon thread you use when you do that?
It's the ruby twine. It's
Ruby
a specific twine that ties a knot and it doesn't untie. It locks the knot. That's the difference between that twine and any other twine.
Ruby.
Which brings me up. It's a pitch now, and I admit it, but in a good way because I want people to use the proper materials, Jimmy. That's a good question. There's other materials out there like nylon tying. Do not get the nylon spring twine. The nylon button twine is a different story. That's fine to use on buttons. But you can't use the nylon twine, which is a thicker twine, on springs because the knots slip and they slip off. You wouldn't believe what a problem that causes. With the ruby twine, it has like a little wax coating.
Okay.
It's a jute, so it really locks when you make a knot. You can even do a crossover, which I think I show on that. A crossover, not even a knot, and it stays put. It's amazing. It's an amazing material. And we have it on BroadwayUpholsterySchool.com if anybody wants to buy that. But all the
Also,
materials
on
that
the
we
kit.
feature have been hand selected by me, and they're time tested. Over 40 years of upholstering, Jimmy. I can't believe I've been doing it that long. It seemed like
Is
just
your anniversary
yesterday.
coming up? Do you know
I,
exactly?
I lose track of time. Seemed like just
What's your
yesterday
name? Full name?
that I started this business.
I've been slipping lately with that one.
So we have Mike. He's commenting on the same part one. Do we have part two up there yet on the
That's coming up
Davenport?
next week.
Next week,
And
part
then
two.
beginning of next week, then next week, it'll be listed for sale.
part 2. We have a part 3 on that, Patrick?
No, that's it.
Oh,
The
just
quick
the-
one. That's what I explained on the website too. It's not. Hopefully the next one will have another fabric about. We had fun with that.
Hey, and by the way, the fabric that we voted on, that blue velvet,
Yeah.
that was the reason why we sold that, Pat.
Yeah.
It's
So
a
you-
classy, I've seen that blue velvet on a wingback chair, and in the middle of the chair, they had a complete, like a floral pattern. Beautiful, came out great.
Yeah, thank you. You mean the other chair, not
Yes, the other chair.
You're not
But
talking
that-
about
the
it.
sofa?
Did ours come out okay, Jimmy? I mean, you know.
I think it's okay. You know, obviously you're watching your own videos.
You know what they call that blue? An ink, I-N-K, ink blue. Ink
But it's
blue.
beautiful.
Isn't it nice?
That was a beautiful.
I'll be honest with you, when people selected the blue, I don't think I verbalized this to Patrick. I thought it was wrong. I was looking more towards a burgundy or something on that.
I voted for the red.
You wanted the red.
Yeah.
Patrick and I wanted the red.
Really? You voted? You didn't even vote for the blue.
He did. He voted for the red.
I
Wow.
voted for the red. I thought it would look nice with the.
Did you vote early, or did you
I
vote
stuck the
multiple?
ballot box.
How many times? How many times did you vote?
You know what I say? Vote early, vote often.
So I had like a triple vote in there.
Yeah. you
Oh,
know.
Jimmy,
I don't
I
want to say what.
Still wasn't enough.
Yeah.
Still didn't win.
still didn't win. You still didn't win.
You know, Patrick, we gotta uproot the system next time.
Hey, I'm trying to be honest here.
Yeah.
So now we have Mike saying, are different size springs used for the front edge of the sofa like that? No, they're all the same size. When you start, I would not suggest you get into different size springs. Pick a size spring no matter what you're doing and stick with it. You either got a number 1, a number 2, a number 3, a number 4, a number 5. Do you know how they determine sizes of springs, Jimmy?
No.
Do you
tell me.
remember this?
No.
So you got, hey, we got Jimmy's springs over here. How about that, huh?
Yeah.
We have great segues sometimes. This is one of them. So you count how many rungs on the spring. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And guess what number spring that is?
4.
3. Anything over 5 is the number, any rungs over 5 is the number spring it is. Don't ask me why they just don't say a number 8.
Well, didn't when you used to have that Upholstery Monthly magazine, didn't you get into that?
We had a whole section on spring. No, we didn't.
But I got a question for you.
Yeah.
On the back of some older furniture,
Yeah.
you have the, again, with the, one of the, I think it was the chair that I did, you had the small set of springs.
Yeah.
What quality of spring is that?
Well, we had back springs are a lower gauge, so a thinner gauge,
Okay,
for the softness. So in the old days,
right,
you know, they didn't have soft foam.
right.
They didn't have K-Pot fill cushions. They did have that, and some upholsterers were smart enough to use that in the placement of the spring.
Okay.
But for a soft back, you know, people started to want soft backs. You know, upholstery started with just the seat being
Right.
the bouncy and the soft, and the backs you didn't even lean up against the backs. Then people started wanting, yeah, you never leaned up against a chair, an antique Victorian chair, never. It was not used for that. It was used for you perched. So you perched on the fine furniture. If you ever went into a ladies' home in Beacon Hill here in Boston, and you presented yourself perfectly with the perfect whatever that tuxedo with the top hat and the cane, and you were even doing a little dance up the steps. And if you walked into the house and you sat in a beautiful parlor chair and you leaned back, you were booted out.
Yes, because okay.
You would break it. You would break the chair. But no gentleman of that time would do that. You were taught etiquette. I mean, no, today, do you think they teach sitting etiquette today?
Well, I don't know. I have to look online.
No,
for that one.
there's a furniture store in this, we won't mention the name, who promotes, you should see how people sit. It's like they're jumping into a pool, right?
Yeah.
They jump into the sofa, right? Nobody does that nobody did that in the Victorian days.
God forbid, they think something was wrong with you.
That's right. Now, imagine that, you were just talking about size springs and we went into all that, right? But it would be a softer spring. Later on, people wanted the backs. They wanted to soften up the backs. You get a soft spring, and even the twine that we use on the Davenport, we went to the nylon twine that we use buttons with
Okay.
to even soften it more, right?
But are those springs comparable to the foam, or is it Is it,
Springs are always better. 8-way tied springs, or even a 4-way tied on the back, are always better than any foam, any down, any K-Park that you can imagine. It's the best system, and the oldest, one of the oldest.
okay.
So here we go. That was that. We're almost done with these, and I want to have time for our house husband who has an appointment here at the shop to look at fabrics and to talk about their piece of furniture. I haven't got the job yet. Jimmy's going to be that person that you guys are going to get an inside glimpse of what a sales might look like.
What Jimmy's really like.
Stephanie says on the Davenport, 2 more questions here. Next person that upholsters this sofa is going to have fun removing the staples. This is quality. Yes. No, sometimes we need to use that amount of staples in order to get the job done, right? And then DC Kennedy, not sure if she's a relation. She says, repairing a popped or broken button. How do you retrieve a button? This is an interesting question. How do you retrieve a button that has slipped into the sofa through the tufting? I have tried pulling it through by slipping a band around it, but it won't stay out. So what she needs to do is she needs to somehow, this is tough, I'm not sure if she's going to be able to do it. So she has to pull the button and she has to clip the thread, the twine that's holding that. And she has to begin that process of putting that button in we have 2 videos. We have one video showing the right tools, the German needle and the clasps that he used, and the professional way. And we have another video that we featured that I devised a system using a small needle nose pliers, but she needs the button off. In any case, she needs the button off. She needs to string the button again with the twine and start all over again. So what's happening is that's being held there by a spring or something. It's stuck in there. She needs to undo it. So I hope that answered the question. She's got a tough job there. She might have to take the outside back off, or she might have to call in a professional for that one. So that's all we have for
One more
that.
question.
One more question?
Yeah, it should be a single one by itself.
I don't know if I see it. Wow, this has been a very interesting show. I especially like...
I could read it for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
So scissors, it's from the video Scissors Sharpening Tips for Upholstery. So thank you for sharing the informational video. Would you mind sharing your opinion on a good pair of scissors for upholstery?
Oh, definitely the Wiss. The Wiss is the only scissor I use.
And we got that on the site, so.
Wiss, we got that at BroadwayUpholsterySchool.com. And the size of the scissors depends on the size of your hand. And make sure that if you're right-handed, there are right-handed scissors and there are left-handed scissors. So, how much time do we have left, Patrick?
15 minutes.
All right, I think
I
that
was going
might...
to say, Erica followed up.
Yep.
She said, I had a good comment. She said, having just taken out 60-year-old crumbly dust foam, springs are better.
There you go. All right, so now we're going to do a segment that I haven't. This is new to us. We're going to try this. I'm not sure how this is going to happen, but I need Jimmy to be serious. I need Jimmy to pretend like.
Asking a lot.
Wait a minute, I did have that big pot in the town, I remember that.
Oh, that's right. Jimmy did appear. If you guys really are interested, Rent the Town and the scene where Jimmy. What are you
In
doing?
the very, very beginning,
Come on in, camera, Jimmy.
in the very beginning of the movie, if you look quick, when everybody's coming out, when they're splitting away from scenes, I'm standing there with my coworker at the time, and we had no idea we were being filmed.
So it was natural.
I was about as natural like when I'm sleeping, so.
And you would get royalties from this now.
Oh, yeah, well, the royalties are like, maybe 10 cents, 15 cents.
Do you really get
No,
royalties?
get nothing.
Yeah, me fold.
You're on
I
it.
know. Well, you know what? People joked around and said, "You were the guy in the town." I'm like, and my daughters had called me up and said, "Oh, Dad, you were in the movie." And I'm thinking, like, what are you talking about? And of course, we did sign a release. We had to sign a release that day. And I'm thinking, well, we're not going to be in it again. But you blink and you're going to miss it.
Yeah.
But I was in it for all of a few
But there's
seconds.
not many people that can say they've been in a major.
Well, it didn't lead to anything. We're actually right here. That's
But you're
about it.
still we recognize you. We had you come in.
Oh, you're
and
gonna
you
make
can
me
still-
cry now.
You can still be discovered by some famous Hollywood.
Yeah, let me
producer.
walk down Broadway going to his Arlington Center and see what happens.
I think you might be discovered.
Oh, God, by what? The police? Jimmy, yeah, come here, we need to talk to you.
All right, so now we're gonna set this up.
Okay.
So I've gotten a call, you guys, from a gentleman who lives in a couple of towns over, and he's interested in upholstering a wing chair. So he's called me up, and I've just entered his home, and I have my slip. I brought some fabric samples with me, and I do not have the job yet. But I will tell you what I do for all you guys. I do try to give people an idea of what the cost is going to be. If I went out like this on every job, we used to do that in the old days. You get a call and you had to go. But now with technology the way it is, with text messaging and social media and email, you can get an idea if a customer's serious. So this is the first tip I'm going to give you. Try to, put them through that litmus test of, are they a serious buyer? A lot of people today are shopping. So I try to get a sense if they're shopping, and I have ways of doing that, but I won't get into that. I almost know right away when somebody's shopping, which does not change my labor price, because labor is tough. You can't really change labor price, but it does affect how long I might spend with somebody who's just shopping, because usually I find I don't get that work. So I can't waste a lot of time. Certainly I wouldn't be going out with somebody who's shopping. I'm not going to their house. I have a good sense of this. I can only tell you that you develop a sense, you guys, if you're doing this long enough. But today I want to show you what happens if somebody like Jimmy, when I was talking to him, let's say, he expressed an interest, he got my name from somebody else. So I think I have a pretty good chance. I would say right at this point I have a 50-50 chance of getting the job. There are other factors, a price, definitely. Most people are stuck on a price. We get a lot of competition from new furniture stores who are getting sofas and chairs delivered to them in box containers from overseas. And we're talking, I hate to say it, but a lot of it's forced labor, cheap labor, right?
Yes.
So we're competing with that, you guys. So we need to be, the personal touch is really important. So hopefully Jimmy will like me. I can't say anything bad. I have to be careful. I have to be respectful.
Watch this carefully, people.
So I'm in his living room now, and I need to behave. First thing I do, actually, I'll just say it. I asked the client if do you want me to remove my shoes, and in these days I'm wearing a mask. Mm-hmm. But I'll ask the client, would you like me to remove my shoes? I would say about 20% or 25%. If you see a lot of shoes at the beginning of in the hallway, that they want you to take their shoes off. Not all the time. I think about 20% would want you to take your shoes off. So that right there builds tremendous trust. You're clean, right?
Yes.
You're considerate.
Fanatical.
I wouldn't say fanatical. I try not to, but so the shoes come off right away.
Okay.
If they want me to.
Okay.
Sometimes they say don't bother. That's fine. Most of the time they do. So I come in, and here's Jimmy. Jimmy, nice to meet you.
Same here.
Nice to meet you. And I understand you want some work done on a wing chair.
Well, I have this one chair. It's kind of maybe a little bit outdated with the fabric. Mm-hmm. I do have some new pieces around, as you can see. Mm-hmm. A little gray, but I would like something a little different other than gray. I want something a little contrasting, a little maybe not bold, but different. A little, again, contrasting.
So let's stop right there, you guys. That brings up a good point.
Okay.
We'll pick up this conversation, but I want to talk to people. So already, I know I'm going to have a little bit more of a difficult time finding fabric for a client that wants to fit in a piece to the other pieces, and now they're already mentioned, so they have a concern. And they already mentioned that on their other furniture they have solids. So this is going to be a little tricky. This is what I'm thinking to myself as he's talking. So this is going to be tough. So I'm going to kind of start with something else.
Okay.
So Jim, before we get to the fabrics, let's talk about labor and how many yards of fabric that you're going to need.
Okay, so tell me something that...
So Jimmy, do you want the same style? Usually people do, because it's a pretty stylized thing.
I mean, I like the way the trimming is, and I like the way it's all...
Okay.
Actually, you know what I would like? I saw it once. I don't know if you can do it. You're going to tell me yes or no. Kind of the tacking trimming.
Would you like French nails, buffalo head nails, nickeled nails? Would you like gold
plated?
nails?
Yes,
would you
gold.
like,
I
how
like.
big would
I
you
would
like
like
them?
to, depending on the fabric.
Okay.
I think I would like to see.
Would you like a standard size, a small size, or an oversized?
I think standard would work.
Because oversized would be more of a Spanish. You see what we get into, you guys, right? This is
Okay.
interesting. So,
Okay.
Jimmy, yeah, yes, we can do that.
Okay.
And if you're asking me what size, the universal tack and size is called a French natural nail,
Okay.
which seems to go with almost any fabric.
Okay.
So once you start going off, did you say you wanted gold?
Yes.
All right, you really want gold? Why don't you?
Well, again, I want to see what the fabric is. I want to see,
Yes.
see how it all
Wait
kind
to
of
see what
blends
you
together.
pick first.
Yes.
And we're not there yet. So
Yeah.
let's say here, customer wants. I'm just going to write that on my notes. It's important. Listen, you know how many times people listen to somebody and forget to write it down, and then they forget. I don't care how good you are at memory. Nobody has a memory like that. Nobody has a recall memory. I mean, if they do, maybe you could tell me who.
Right. Well,
But always
especially
write
when
it
you're doing
down.
multiple customers.
This is really important. So I'm going to write down already. I'm talking to Jimmy. One wing chair. Customer wants nail panel. It's called a nail panel. That's kind of code for me.
Okay.
So the only place, Jimmy, that you would consider that I would recommend would be around for the panel.
Okay.
I don't recommend tacks along here.
No,
I
I
don't
think
recommend.
too much.
Well,
I
too
think-
much, and also for the framework, it's not good. It will cause problems with the splinting.
Okay.
Because the shank of the tack. See, this is interesting, you guys. I do get in. I'm trying to sell Jimmy here now. He still hasn't found out how much this is going to cost. By the way, that's extra money. So what I'm trying to do is build confidence. He's looking to me. I'm the expert. He's trying to sort me out. He's thinking that too. He's probably had a couple other people in here that probably are going to be less than me, I'm sure. But let's go with it now. So Jimmy, yeah, we can do that.
Okay.
So let's start with the labor, just so you know what you're getting into.
Okay, so how much per hour?
Typical, well, we don't do by the hour, at least I don't. Some shops do, but I do it by the piece. And a typical wing chair is $975.
Okay.
What's that thud I heard? Jimmy fell on the floor. No, he didn't fall yet. But then I'm going to say, Jimmy, if you want tax, that's an extra $100.
Okay.
Okay? Extra $100. Jimmy,
So, and now, talk to me about the fabric.
yeah,
mean,
so I
again,
haven't
what do
lost him, you guys. If he's talking fabric now, he doesn't have sticker shock. He didn't fall on the floor. He didn't kick me out of the house yet.
The dog is getting growling
But there's
right
a
now.
dog in the corner and it's looking at me like a big pork chop. So I gotta make this fast. By the way, if you're smart, you'll have a dog biscuit on you. And
Yes.
so while the customer's not looking, you throw him a bone and then just come back. And then the dog comes over. And this is funny. I should tell you.
What are you gonna do?
I actually didn't get this job. I went to a customer's house once,
Okay.
and I'm sitting on the sofa, and these three cats came over. One sat on my lap, one was on my shoulder, and the other one's on my other shoulder.
Are you kidding?
And I'm sitting there. I felt like St. Francis. You know, St. Francis in the Catholic tradition is
Yes.
the saint of animals, right? He
Yes.
loves animals. And I'm sitting there going, "This is." And the customer said, "I've never seen my cats do that to anybody. My cats usually they're female cats. They run away from a man." I'm saying to myself, I got this job.
Yeah. Well, the cats thought you did.
Well, the cats. If it was up to the cats, I would have gotten the job. But guess what? I didn't get the job. If I couldn't get a job there, I would have never gotten that job. But that was because of the price. So okay, I wouldn't say that to a customer, right?
No.
So this is just off. So now let's get back to this. So Jimmy, you're looking at about so far, Jimmy. You're looking at about $1,075 for this chip.
Okay.
Add that up, $1,075, and that's just for labor. Now, Jimmy, you need 7 yards of fabric.
Okay.
Okay, 7 yards of fabric.
Now, what prices are we talking about?
Well, Jimmy,
ranging from?
this is where it gets tricky, you guys, right? You're balancing a lot in when you're trying to sell fabric, because the price points are so important. Somebody's already into it for this much money. They're not looking to spend $100, another $700, $100 a yard.
Right.
So, Jimmy, the average design fabric, the average fabric that we have is $50 a yard.
Okay.
That's an average fabric. That's an average design fabric. That means that you know the specs, you know what you're getting, you know if it's treated with Teflon, which we haven't gotten to that. Now, you do have a
Teflon.
dog. I see a dog, a drooling dog. Do you have any
Yes,
other animals?
Actually, that dog is rabid, and
We don't have a fabric that's against, that will stand up to rabid dogs. We do have fabrics that stands up to drooling dogs, or... you
really,
know.
so it's a stain resistant.
Yeah.
It'll
I
clean
understand
up.
you like to, take a little of the cinnamon schnapps once in a while.
No, I've moved on to that. All right,
So,
that
you
was
might-
in last week's episode.
You might spill something on it. So you want something like a Teflon coating or something
Okay,
like
so is that a little
Scott.
bit more too?
No, sometimes it's included in the price of the fabric, right? You guys, good selling point, because, okay, this isn't, I'm not, the customer doesn't hear me now, you guys hear me. So, I'm talking to the camera and the people out there. So fabrics, when you go out to a fabric store, have no identification on them whatsoever. You don't know the double rub test, which is, how many times it can rub, and not wear through. You don't know the stain, you don't know the cleaning codes, nothing. But when you're buying through a reputable upholsterer, you're getting all that information on the back here. Let me just
Okay.
read one, sir. So let's say you like this one. This is 50% rayon. That's another thing. You get the content of what you're buying, and 46% polyester. You're getting a Teflon finish, which is okay. Teflon is something that I would tell people to. There are newer finishes that are better and better for the environment. So look at what I just did there, right?
Well,
Did I talk myself out of a sale, or did
well,
I?
you made me aware of another choice. I
Okay.
would think of another choice.
Did I
now.
gain your confidence?
Yes.
So trustworthy, seriously. I mean, you got to be honest with people, and then it has a heavy duty rating of 15,000, which is good, and a California bulletin fireproof, which is good, which is not required. This is all what I'm saying to you. So this is a fabric that is could fit the criteria what you're looking for. So, and before we get on to that, even color, do you know you said you had solid.
Well, since it's gray, I'm thinking of something again contrasting. I don't know, blue. What do you have in mind? 'Cause
I'm going to give Jimmy a quick answer here at this point, because time is ticking away, right? And really, when you think about it, if you're selling a fabric for $50 a yard, that's $25 a yard. 25 times 7 is $175. You've got to be, as a salesperson as well as good upholsterer, you've got to also be a good accountant,
Right.
And say, okay, I have the labor on this, but as far as the fabric goes, by labor I get more profit. But my fabric is $175 profit. I'm thinking about this. And Jimmy's asking questions right now that gets into more of a realm of a designer. He's not looking for me right now. He's got his own ideas, which is okay. You're going to find this, you guys, if you're selling fabric. So I'm glad we're doing this. This is kind of a good thing.
Well, also the fact that you have so many fabrics online, so when you're competing against also online prices.
So also, though, what I'm trying to do is pay attention to the time. So I'm going to offer Jimmy, at this point, I'm going to offer him my opinion about the color that he needs, which is going to be a strong opinion. So hopefully he's looking for, but I don't think Jimmy's the type of client. He wants what he wants. He's got it in his head what he wants. He wants a multiple colored fabric, because he's got all this plain fabric in the room. See, we're thinking about this all the time when we're talking to somebody.
Right.
Now, I don't want to, I like you, Jimmy, but I don't want to spend the afternoon with Jimmy, because I've got to get back to the shop.
Yeah.
So right now I'm gonna start getting a little strong with him. I got a customer. He didn't balk at the labor price. He's asked about the cost of the fabric, which I gave him. Now I'm gonna really sell him. I said, no, Jimmy, you've got grays and you've got blues. And that's a nice, little bit more of a modern plaid. I'm going to see
Okay.
what his reaction to that
Okay,
is.
I like that. It kind of blends in together.
Oh, good. Can I write this up?
What else do you have? I mean, do you have
Okay.
something close to it? Or
So
do
he's
you-
asking what's going to happen now. I'm going to show Jimmy a few more options here of what I think, and then I'm going to see. I'm going to give an opinion about another type of fabric. I like this fabric. This has the colors in your room, Jimmy, and it has a diamond pattern, so doesn't this one.
Mm-hmm.
And diamond patterns are real traditional patterns,
Yeah.
and it would go nicely with your wing chair. So those are good choices. So you've got three, so I've given them three choices. You
Yeah,
guys.
so this one too light, I think.
Yeah, okay.
Too light. So,
So-
I'm kind of going like this. I like the
Something like this?
pattern. I like.
So
the
would this be your number one choice, Jimmy?
That might be my. What was the other one you showed me?
Well, the other one was this plaid, almost like a plaid. I wouldn't call it a true plaid, but it was this one.
Yes, I like that. That has a little.
So
more
you've got
style
two
to it.
possibilities, and
Yeah.
it would have post-its that Jimmy would have in here. So
Okay.
actually, we've gotten probably halfway there with Jimmy and you guys. He's got colors picked up, and we're a little bit more complicated than most customers because he's trying to fit this into other colors, and he's got a keen sense. I could tell that, so I know that I might not get the fabric sale, but I think I've got the job. I don't think I'm going to be able to sell him fabric, so now I'm going to just test him a little bit. So Jimmy, I think we both like this. I mean, let's forget all these other books. I think we're off color here, so we're focused on this color. And boy, this is. What do you think? Do you need time to think about it, or are you ready to?
I just want to see what else. I want to make sure that this is going to be. Oh, I kind of like this one.
That's a nice one. That's
Yeah.
kind of a smaller pattern.
Yeah.
You can use it on that. Except I should tell you that on a bigger chair, which this is, that would tend to look a little bit more polka dotty.
Yeah.
See what I just did there, you guys? He actually liked that fabric. Was almost gonna use it, but I gave my opinion about it because it's truthful. I think if you used a small pattern like that, too polka dotty, you see what you get into, you guys. There's a lot to this. This isn't easy. So
Daniel posted something funny. He said the weirdest chair I ever did was a guy wanted a bulletproof back.
Oh.
oh, was that for Al Capone or something?
Kevin will do that, but that is a small extra cost.
I like that. So
That's
Jimmy,
fun.
I think Jimmy, what I'm going to do at this point, because I can sense that we've narrowed the color down, which is good. So the other thing that can happen is a customer can get totally overwhelmed by how many books you have. So sometimes I don't even bring this many books. I'll bring one or two because I've already asked you
Yes.
what your color scheme is.
Right.
And I took two, let's say I take 2 books. So we narrowed it down into another book. He's got 3 possibilities there. Then what I'm going to do now is, because I'm not a hard sell, and ask any other salesman out there, they'd say if you walk out, you've lost the job at this point. Or if he shakes my hand, although we're not shaking hands these days, but in the old days, if he does the little elbow bump, that might be the end of the sale. I'm not sure. I think I have this sale, but I don't think I have the fabric yet. Okay, so Jimmy, let's continue. So what do you think? You got 3 choices there.
Well, I'm leaning on this one right here.
Do you need time to think about it?
No.
I can
I
leave the
mean,
book.
I'm trying to have a vision of what it's going to look like,
Right.
and especially again, it's going to be, again, the contrasting piece that I would like.
So what do you think?
There's plenty of gray in this place. I'm already kind of tired of the gray, to be honest
Right.
with you. I don't know why
Right.
I went that route, but I will try this one.
Okay, let's see if it's stocked. Let's find out the price though first, because
Okay.
I said the average was $50.
Yes.
Let's just check the price
Okay.
and stock
So
availability.
you're going to be nice to
So
me now.
here's what to do, you guys. If you're I need to be nice to you. If you're selling and you've got a line of fabrics that you're promoting and selling, on the other end, the factory end, the 800 number, you better have a good relationship and a very active and fast relationship. And you better be able to do social media at this point, because I'm going to check on my phone stock and price. Stock is so important, you guys. You don't want to sell a fabric that a customer loves and then have it not stocked or discontinued. That's the worst thing you can do. So right now is a key to this sale. Key to this sale.
Okay.
So I'm going to call, hello, company. I'm looking for 7 yards of blah, blah, blah number. Stock and availability, please. And if this is so important, because some companies don't answer the phone. Get rid of a company like that. Don't deal with a company like that.
Oh.
Find a good fabric company. I'm in the house. This is critical,
Yes, this
right?
is.
I got the fish is hooked. He's a fat tuna. He's about 1,000 pounds, and he's hooked. I got him,
1,000
but I could
pounds.
lose him pretty quick.
1,000 pounds.
Yeah, they just found one. 1,000 pounds.
Yes, I heard that.
And he's hooked. And I got him. I got one hand with the fishing rod out here. I got the other one on my phone. And they said, yes, it's stocked. There's 7 yards. oh, can you please reserve the 7 yards? This is before I even find out the price, because a reserve doesn't cost me anything, but
Okay.
it locks the fabric for you in case you want.
Yeah.
And then, and how much is that? She says, $100 a yard.
Ooh.
And I said, okay, great, thank you very much. And I get off the phone. I said, Jimmy, I got some good news and I got some bad news. The good news is the fabric's available. It's just 7 yards. So I got it locked and it's yours. But unfortunately, it's $100 a yard.
Ooh.
So this puts it at the 700. This puts it at almost $1,800. Is that something? Well,
no.
before you say no, I can offer you 20% off on that. I can get it. I can get it down to $80 a yard. And I'll tell you another thing I can do. You live about 10 miles away from the shop.
Okay.
However, I can offer you free pickup and delivery.
Okay.
So I mean that has value there too, Jimmy. And,
Okay.
I said that's the most I can do. I cannot give you a discount on labor, but I can do on fabric.
Okay.
Is that something you need time to think about, or are you ready to write a check
I was
today?
kind of surprised at the price.
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking about, that high.
Right.
But 20%
understand.
off, and,
Yeah.
and delivery.
I'll tell you what I'll do.
Okay.
I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll, and I don't want you guys to get the wrong idea here. This isn't like a used. I'm not trying to be like a used car salesman at all.
What
That's
you're
not
saying
what I'm
about
trying-
those people, a fine trade they
But I want the job.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a fine trade. I shouldn't say anything bad about
I
that.
know,
There's a
just
lot of
joking.
fine automobiles out there that are worth used vehicles that are worth some money. What I'm going to do, Jimmy, is I'm going to do, if you want the nails, I'm going to do that no charge.
Oh,
So we're going to go back down to the $9.75 because the fabric is more expensive,
yeah.
right? So I'm
Okay.
going to try to make up the difference with the fabric.
Okay.
That's what I'll say to
Okay.
them.
Yeah.
But is it a deal?
Yeah, that's a little bit better. I'm glad you decided.
Do you need time to think about it?
No. I mean, I do like that fabric a lot. Again, it really blends. I think it's really going to blend well
Great.
with what I have.
Great, thanks.
So
I
I
take
did-
checks. So it's $560 plus 6.25% tax, sales tax. Are you ready to give me a check today for the fabric?
Yes, I think.
I also need 50% of the labor. Are you ready to give me that? There's another $400.
Wow, you are so fast. How, did you work with the Federal Express guy?
I told you I had some coffee. So the job is good. Okay, great. I estimate the job out. The balance due will be 50% of the labor.
Okay, so
It's
what
about
is that today?
$475.
Wow,
Today,
that's not too
no,
bad.
you owe me
I won't be able to eat for the rest of the-
$1,232.22
What-
today.
What's that again?
$102,232.42.
Wow.
A check made out to Upholstery on Broadway.
Not Jim Olsen?
And, and we'll order that fabric as soon as you
I
give
mean,
me a
he's still
check.
waiting to get paid from last year.
But that's it, you guys. We have a lot of fun. And that was an accelerated sales call. I'm trying to
usually-
get a lot of information.
Well, all right. So, example, you come into my home, again, whether it's a chair or sofa, whatever.
Right.
What is the most to minimal time you would spend with somebody?
You know, this is tricky, and this is a good question for people. This is to people who are trying to do this for a living, trying to start their businesses.
Well,
up,
even if
like
they come
you.
into your shop.
You got to be careful with your time. Your time is everything. Most people who are in trade, who are building whatever they're building, I don't care if they're building a house or making that Naugahyde little doll that we saw, you have to know your time. Most craft people lose track of time because we have that artist brain, right? We lose track of time. You really have to be careful with time. I really can't spend a lot of time in a house. I really can't because you might give me a check, or you could say what people do at this point. You could say, let me talk. You're making this decision without a significant other or that rabid dog in the corner. You're not asking him. if
Well,
he wants to
he's gotten better since you kind of threw the tax in for free.
But I can tell you what happens at this point, because I don't know your situation.
Right.
At this point,
Well, I think people get turned off with. I mean, you would get turned off as a salesman, but I think you have to understand.
you have to run this by the significant other, Jimmy.
Well,
You
I
can't
mean,
make this
I mean, if it was
decision on
just
your
me, it's like, well, I mean, it sounds good.
This
yeah,
isn't
okay.
a cup of coffee. This isn't like, this is a little bit of money for most people. So what happens, I'd get a sense from Jimmy, if there was a significant other involved, or if he's a bachelor, then you could make the decision now. And then
Right.
that's great.
Which I did.
You made the decision, but you didn't give me the check yet. I noticed that. Let's say he gives me the check, great. You know what, at this point,
I got $1.85 here.
at this point, I'm buying a ticket to the Bahamas, and he's never gonna see me again. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. That's okay.
No, at this point, Jimmy's, your next question, it always is when can you do the work?
Yeah, when can you take it? What's a good day for you to
So
start
it's
doing
tied
it?
into the fabric, Jimmy, it's tied into the fabric,
Okay.
and we know the fabric is stocked. I'm gonna order it as soon as I leave here. It should be here in 2 or 3 days, but I'm about 2 weeks out. So I can either pick it up now while I'm here,
Okay.
and that's always good, you guys, because that really means you got the job. Or we can come back, if you're using the chair a lot, we can come back and try to time it with the fabric. This is important too, you guys.
Being also the check bounced.
We got to make sure.
Again, I got some change here.
to make
You
sure.
take the change. I think I got my penny jar.
And what is this, Jimmy Hoffa? No. So then
I'll be
I
buried with the
time
chair.
it. I time it well with the
Right.
fabric
when it's
coming
when-
in, and then sometimes a customer wants to have the chair as long as they can before it's upholstered because it's their favorite chair.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll time it. But this is going to be for another video, not with Jimmy. But we're going to talk about how you handle your labor, your fabric, all these elements. You're ordering fabric, it's being shipped, it's not being shipped, it's been discontinued, all crap like that. Sorry to use that word. But there's a lot of variables, there's a lot of balls in the air when you're operating a shop with multiple pieces. We're going to talk, Patrick, will you remind me to do that video?
Yes, put it up on the board here.
Really important, because there's ways of organizing yourself that I think I can really help you in the upholstery business and any other business. We can talk about it. It's really cool. Wait till I show it to you. But anyhow, Jimmy, I'm glad, thank you for allowing me into your house, and thank you for the job.
Can you not cash the check till next Friday though?
This happens. Yes, no, I'll be happy not to cash your check. Did you post-date it?
Yes.
Okay.
It's kind of suspicious, but all right.
2032? I can't wait that long.
It's a good retirement check.
Well, with that one, thanks you guys. This has been a little bit of a different question and answer, I think, but I hope it was informative. I try to get a lot of information. And Jimmy, you were perfect.
Thank you.
You're welcome. We'll see you next time, you guys.
Nice.